After Show podcast. I am Giulia Galastro.
I'm Ross Foley. And Giulia, it's been a while.
It has been a while. We have not been recording in quite some time.
Let's not beat around the bush. It's been at least 3 weeks since we last did one of these. Maybe closer to 3 months.
I think closer to 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a good grasp of time, but how the hell have you been, kid?
I've been good. I've been so as established in previous episodes, I am a professor of comedy at Cambridge University.
Dr. Chuckles, you like to be known as.
That's what they call me.
Yep.
Yes, I didn't come up with that nickname myself.
No.
And in my professional capacity, I have been on a cruise ship teaching the ropes of comedy to wealthy businessmen floating around in the sea.
Mm-hmm.
How about yourself, Ross? What have you been doing during our sabbatical?
Yeah, well, I don't know. How familiar are you with Route 66?
The road across America?
Yeah, it goes from Chicago, Illinois to the sea in California.
Sea.
And for the last 3 months, I've been involved in a really interesting project where I am trying to perform a comedy gig at every McDonald's restaurant on the Mother Road, as it's known. Actually, the novel Grapes of Wrath, Steinbeck first called it the Mother Road. It's also known as the Will Rogers Highway. Some of you may know it's that. I call it the Mother Road. Mm-hmm. So I'm calling it McFunny's on the Mother Road. I haven't actually started the process of doing it yet, but over the last 3 months, I was lucky enough to get a pretty substantial grant from the Scottish Government Cultural Fund. And I've basically been doing the research prior to the trip. So I've been visiting McDonald's up and down states like Texas, states like Illinois, states like California.
Wow.
And the idea, I've done the research, I'm glad I did, because now I know I want to culminate, end the whole thing in this really special McDonald's on Barstow, California, which is actually shaped like a train.
Like a train?
It's like a McDonald's in a train, and they basically hollowed out some old train carriages and put McDonald's in there. So the idea is very exciting. So I'm hoping in 6 to 12 months I can get another grant from the government to go and actually do the damn thing. But I am going to have to speak to McDonald's about, getting it done. I don't know if they've got stage space.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's McFunny's on the Mother Road. I'm going to create a website for it. It probably will be www.mcfunnysonthemotherroad.com /2024. That's the year I'm planning on doing it. Hopefully it can become an annual thing.
Yeah.
The website doesn't exist yet, but keep your eyes peeled. Check it every day. Type it into your search browser and just hit enter, and it should come up when it's there. When it's finally there,
when it's live.
Now it'll say 404 no such website.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
It might say, "Do you want to buy this domain?"
It might. Hopefully,
maybe,
God willing, no one does, because
Yeah.
Daddy could really screw the whole thing if they do that. If they sell it to some no-mark comedian. Yeah. But I think I'm the guy to take this concept and take it to the end zone, as they'd say in America, which is where I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that sounds like a very exciting project.
Thank you. I'm glad people have been skeptical about it. They say you're not an experienced comic. No, there's no interest for you to do that. And a lot of these towns aren't even inhabit these days. Far less do they have a comedy scene. But I say, boo hiss boo to the naysayers. Let me go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
I love the restaurant. The only negative thing is I think they don't know how to use Grimace. I don't know if you've got an opinion on that.
Grimace?
Big purple guy.
Oh.
This year they've been doing a lot of stuff for Grimace's birthday, but most years they don't do nearly enough to promote Grimace, who's one of the main characters after Ronald McDonald himself. So if anyone from McDonald's listening, number one, get in touch with me about McFunny's on the Mother Road. Step two, use Grimace more, because he's actually one of the funniest characters that you've got.
Yeah.
And you have to make the most of these things or they'll vanish like wind in your hand.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Like wind in the hand. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or dust in the wind, I think, is the song. But anyway, that's a little... I mentioned song there, and that's a little sneak peek of what's coming today.
Hey, that is. I mean, we could reveal the sneaky peek.
Dare we say it?
Dare
we
we?
Look inside Pandora's box and see what she's got for us?
Let's do it. Let's introduce our very special guest on this episode. We are super excited to have the wonderful Amelia Bayler with us.
Hi. Thank you so
Hi.
much. I know I wasn't supposed to be laughing before I was introduced. I don't know on the audio, but it was just because you were saying McDonald's.
Pardon? Oh, it's a regional thing. That's how my family says it. It's just the part of Scotland I'm from. We say McDonald's.
Do you
I'm from Midlothian.
Do you have any experience with McDonald's, Amelia?
I actually do have you might be interested in this,
Mm-hmm.
and you might be interested in this as well, just because you're doing your fucking road trip thing.
McFunny's on the Mother Road, yeah.
Sorry, McFunny's on the... Yeah, whatever. I actually lived in Paris.
The home of McDonald's. Yeah.
And the McDonald's logo was on a green background in Paris to make it kind of... Because, like, they had an emphasis on, like, healthy vibes.
Yeah.
Also, they have something called a croque McDo. Already the name is iconic, where they use inverted burger buns toasted with ham and cheese.
Whoa.
And the actual outside of it has an M. Like, it's got the M logo. Almost like, do you know how, like, the McDonald's, like, uniform has, like, M on, like, the jeans? Like, embroidered. I love that, like, detail.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with comedy, but when I lived in Paris, I just used to... Like, I was quite bad at French, and they had self-service machines, so I would just go and I'd be like, un McFlurry.
Je voudrais McDonald's.
Je voudrais McFlurry and croque McDo. But I didn't actually have to say that. I just click on the machine and get the
Right,
number.
so French didn't even come up.
So, yeah, that's my McDonald's stuff.
That's exciting. What do you think about the Grimace issue that I raised?
I get what you're saying. I think I've seen this character on Twitter, but I only just realised who it was. So...
Oh, that's like, okay. That's fine. We're not talking about Grimace too much today, but we might get someone on who's more kind of Grimace
I should have done my research on this, but you know,
I guess you didn't get my emails, but that's all right. Julia, before we dig into musical comedy, and not to let the cat out of the bag, but our guest is, I would say, an expert in musical comedy and one of the foremost proponents of it in the scene.
I think so. Yeah.
Before we get to that, what the hell is musical comedy, and what's the history of it, and how did it even start?
Well, I'm glad you asked me, Ross, because that leads us on to the little section we call the history of comedy. And there's a theme song, but let's just imagine the theme song for now. So as we are learning with many aspects of comedy, the history of musical comedy goes all the way back to ancient Greece and Rome.
Wow.
So in ancient Greece, there would be festivals to celebrate the god Dionysus, and as part of a procession to a sort of temple, they would carry an enormous phallus and huge, just absolutely huge, a huge phallus.
Yeah.
And they'd sing funny songs.
Do you know any?
I do. Yep, several.
Are you gonna share?
Sure. So if translating literally, it would be something like, "Oh, what a massive cock! Look at it go to the temple." That kind of vibe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When did they actually get funny? When did the songs actually start to get enjoyable and funny? Because we've talked about this before. You do a lot of ancient Greek stuff, and it's not good. Is the problem? It falls somewhat short of what I would say is the watermark, which is like Clumps 2. Anything above Clumps 2 is good. Obviously, Clumps 1 is, I'm trying to think of a reference that you would understand. That's Zeus. That's top of the food chain.
Well, as we've seen with previous ancient Greek examples, like comedic sensibilities change over time, and what was funny back then may not be as funny today.
Sure.
But I think we can still get something out of that beautiful and authentic song I just shared.
Okay. But go on. I think it will get better as time goes on.
As time goes
surely
on.
the French had something to do with funny songs. They seem very witty. We've talked about Paris.
Oh, the French.
Rabelais. He must have written a few fun songs.
Well, firstly, let's take a little detour via the medieval period, where, of course, absolutely packed with minstrels and troubadours and court jesters with little bells on their hats and shoes, singing songs, satirical songs. Sometimes they'd have musical instruments, which perhaps we'll get into with Amelia shortly.
Yeah.
And they would often be quite, critical of social issues of the day.
Do we have any examples? Do you know any?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Could you share with us?
So, for example, again, so this is just a literal translation from the
English.
Old English. Yeah. So there's one that goes, I'm surrounded by so much plague. Everybody's got the plague. I don't know.
And that was the tune. That would have been, they would have sung it to that tune.
I'm surrounded by so much plague, so much plague, so
It's
much
kind of
plague.
modern,
I'm
isn't it?
surrounded by so much plague. Plague.
Yeah, I
you
mean-
know it. Come
It's
on.
familiar, isn't
I
it?
know
There's
it.
something familiar about it. It's almost
Plague,
like a nursery
plague,
rhyme.
plague.
This doesn't really have anything to do with the topic, but just since you're an expert and we've got you here, Humpty Dumpty isn't real, is he?
Humpty Dumpty.
What's
Don't-
that?
don't-
What is that?
What is the big egg?
It wasn't actually like a man that looked like an egg, was it?
I
You
believe
don't know. You
it
can
was,
say you don't know.
I believe it was a man with a very rare skin condition that caused his skin to be hard and fragile, like the shell of an egg.
Okay, thanks.
So I think
See, it
that's
pays to have a professor on a show like this because you get answers to questions. And Amelia, if you have any pressing questions, feel free to use Julia. It's basically a big walk in Wikipedia, is what I like to say.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'll think about, if anything comes to me, I'll be like, here we go.
Yeah.
The questions that I normally ask people are really stupid. Like, I'll be like, Mom, I opened this mince 2 days ago. The use by is the 15th.
What's
but
the
it
thought process
says-
there? Opening a mince and then just leaving it out. What's the...
Oh, like,
You
I've
forget?
got a cardigan. It says wash it at 30 degrees. Can I wash it at the same thing as a pair of jeans without dyeing it? Those are the kind of questions. And then if my mom's not available, I'll just text people and they'll be like, Google it. I'm like, no, but I need...
I want
the
a real
pers-
person.
I need
Personal
the
touch.
person.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's, really exhilarating chat for me today. I don't know if...
That's exactly what we're looking
Mints and cardigans. The name
Good name
of
for an
my,
album.
yes, that's what I was going to say. I was like, my forthcoming musical comedy album is actually called Mints and Cardigans. Actually, it's an A and B side EP single.
You lost me.
A side Mints.
What was that?
B-side
That was just a bunch of
Cardigans.
letters.
A side, B
AEPP.
side, EP.
See, this is why we get experts on this show, because they can
Yes.
tell us all this technical language that we don't know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What the hell are you talking about? A, B side?
Well, I actually
EP?
tried. So, like, when artists release like a single on like a record, I actually kind of messed up because I said A, B side, EP. I'm just saying words, but with like a record, there'll be like an A side and a B side. Normally, the A side's better than the B side, but actually, sometimes the B side is better than the A side. The only example of this is. No, I can't think of one.
That's okay. That's okay.
Mints and Cardigans.
That's
By
going to be
Amelia
better on the B side than the A side.
Cardigans will be better than mints. But
Okay.
yeah, I am an expert on musical comedy. I'm really happy to be here because I know that you are both experts in your own way. You've been like teaching on a cruise ship. You've done 7 gigs, open mic nights.
That's right. Yeah.
And so you've got
Yeah.
stuff to say.
Yeah. I'm an up and comer.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm an up and comer.
A hot
Each gig
new
better
act.
than the last. I would
Yeah.
say so. I was described that way at one of the gigs I did. But it was
By
it was,
another comedian.
by the person promoting the night. But that was a weird gig. That was in the Tunnix Tea Cakes shop, and the person who ran it didn't know nothing about comedy because it was very poorly run. But we did get free tea cakes, which that was all right.
I'm noticing a lot of food venues in your background, Ross.
Well, people don't know this, but if you do gigs at a restaurant, you usually can get free food if you ask for long enough. So it's helpful to do it that way. And also, for sort of comedy clubs, it's impossible to get asked to do a gig at a comedy club, I've found. Whereas generally, if I just start telling jokes at McDonald's, people seem to go along with it. Like, you do a gig at a comedy club, right?
Yeah.
30 people there. Fine.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to McDonald's 2 a.m. I've got my little speak and spell, like one of these personal microphone amplifying devices. And people are waiting for their food. A lot of them are drunk. I'll just start telling jokes. No one tells me to leave. And if they do, so be it. I'll move to the next one. KFC. So I'm getting stage time that you can't even dream of in these late night fast food establishments.
I used to do that. I used to work in a sandwich shop, and I realized when I started to, trying to host gigs recently, and I realized when I was doing crowd work and asking people questions, I was like, this feels really weirdly familiar. And I remember when I worked in a sandwich shop, I thought that we had to always be charismatic. So, because that was like the vibe of the shop. They're like, we just really want you to chat to the customers. But I thought that meant that during the lunch rush, I had to ask people questions about the day and try and make jokes for like the whole lunch hour.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
And I would do that every day, like thinking that was the job.
But that's how you hone your craft.
So yeah, maybe it's a good thing, but I think somebody left a review. I've not told anyone about this. They got berated for having a Tesco bag.
What?
Because one time someone had a Tesco bag, I said, "What's in the bag?" Like that, like trying to, and they were like, "Just some crisps." And I was like, "What kind of crisps or something?" And they were like, sun-dried tomato baked crisps. And I was like, "What are these fucking crisps? They're not even real crisps or something." And then they took it badly. And then after that, I was like, "Oh my God, what have I become?" So after that, I was like, "Hi, what would you like?" And they'd be like, "Chicken, whatever." And I'd be like, "Have a good day."
Yeah.
Like, no jack. I was like, what have I become?
You've gone too far in the
I
opposite
was trying to do
direction.
observational comedy about crisps. People, they like hate their life. They hate their job. It's their lunch hour. It's their 1 hour to like get out and have some fun.
And you're taking 15 to 20 minutes of material while the food goes cold.
But when my boss was like, he like got the computer up and he was like flicking through the reviews. He was like, "What about this one?" And it was like berated for a Tesco bag, and I was like, "Nah, that wasn't me.
Doesn't sound like.
I don't think I would do that."
I think it sounds like they weren't ready for you. Like,
yeah, it was kind of maybe because it also wasn't a comedy club. So I would say, Ross, just be careful. You know.
Yeah.
It's
And your
dangerous.
McDonald's, what's it called? Your McDonald's journey through.
Yeah, I've said it several times. I feel like I need to keep repeating that. I even
McFunny's
give
on the
euro.
Mother Road?
McFunny's on the Mother Road is correct. That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll remember it next time. McFlurry's on the road.
McFunny's
on the road to hell.
McFunny's on the Mother Road.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's comedy. So
McFlurry's
it's
on the
McFunny's.
mother load.
Mc-
Wait, sorry.
Oh, now you're being flippant. And I feel like one of your customers is going to leave. I'm going to leave a harsh review on your personal TripAdvisor.
Everyone has one. Everyone has one.
They should
It's called
actually.
Twitter.
Yeah.
It's called Twitter.
That's the way we're going, folks. Personal social scores. That's the way we're going. Look out for it.
Yeah. But do you guys want to hear some advice from me, like about
Yeah,
musical
well,
comedy?
Very much so. Yeah.
First of all,
Oh,
we still don't have
shit.
what is musical comedy? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Comedy and music are totally different things.
So it's where, oh my God, actually, I feel like I'm not qualified to answer that. I feel really confused already. But actually, sorry.
Whoa.
Here's the thing. You have music that's slightly funny,
Okay.
Yeah.
you know? Like, do you know what I just thought of? And it's not even that funny, but I just thought of the Sex Pistols where he goes, "I am an antichrist." Like, that is quite
That's
funny,
funny.
but then
Satire.
maybe just the way that I'm singing
Yeah.
it is funny.
Yeah.
Also, like when David Bowie was like, "I'm an alligator, I'm a motherfucker." Actually, that's still not a good example. That's just funny because the way he sings it. But
Yeah.
do you know when songs
the-
are funny? Like Lily Allen, she's like, what's it? There were people from the city having lunch in the park. I believe that was called al fresco. Like, that's music that is funny. But then musical comedy is like Shooting Stars, where they have a song about the baked potato, and for some reason that's different from a song that is, because I think artistically maybe it's not as, it's a bit more simplistic the way that it's sung. It's technically not as deep, and it's just like, baked potato saved my life, you know.
So,
But that's like that's the difference. That's me. I've just summed it up really succinctly, really smart for you.
Yeah.
Julia, that almost sounds like something like one of your textbooks. Do you think?
I think it does. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean though? Like, there's music that's funny, and then there's musical comedy. But sometimes I go up on stage and I'll do music, and it's like, it's too good. Do you know what I mean? It's not funny because actually my singing is too good, or the backing track is too good. I've produced a banger, and the audience is sitting there, they're like, it's not because the concept as a hook doesn't work and it's not relatable. It's because they're listening to it and they go, this backing track is fundamentally a banger. She should be DJing in the clubs, you know? That's not why it dies on its arse. Not because the whole concept is like just not relatable and quite shit. It's definitely because my production is too good. My production on GarageBand.
That's so
Free
interesting. So
software.
if something is too good musically, then it just
It does.
eliminates the opportunity
It's
for
nothing
comedy.
to do with the fact that it's poorly written or
Yes,
not
no.
thought out. It's all because my singing sometimes is too good.
Yeah.
And
It's like Doctor Strangelove, where I always show that and I say it's the funniest film ever, but people don't get it and they don't laugh at it. And I think it's because it's too artistically good. So much like your problem,
Yeah.
you are kind of a Kubrick. in and of yourself.
I've not seen Doctor Strangelove. Can you briefly describe this comedy film to me?
Yeah. Well, the subtitle is How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. So that should give you everything you need to know. Otherwise, I'd say look it up. The Internet Movie Database is a great website. It lists summaries of many films.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, thanks.
I use Rotten Tomatoes.
It's
really
right.
smart.
Well, different websites for different people.
So, Amelia, I noticed you said you use backing tracks. Is that something you'd recommend to...
Yes. So if there's any like new musical comedians, here's my advice to you. Do not use an instrument because what you don't want is respect from the audience. You don't want them to think you're good. So go on stage, say I'm a musical act. Don't have a musical instrument. So they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then they have really low expectations.
Right.
They think you're shit. Yeah. But yeah, no instruments. They're distracting as well. No instruments, no talent. Also, just make sure you sing badly.
Because that
I
makes
think
sense.
when I sing better, I think it goes worse.
When I'm on stage, I like to have a funny t-shirt because then you've already won them over before you've even started. I've got this one that's got Snoopy on it and he's asleep and it says to-do list, nothing.
I love that.
And it's like, when I come out, the audience is already busting up because they are like laughing at that joke. So if you had a guitar, if you had an old Rickenbacker or some sort of guitar, any kind of guitar.
You had to say the name.
A Flying V or any of these popular guitars.
You had to just say, to
even
just
a
show
Martin
that you
acoustic.
fucking know.
Telecaster.
Well, I used to work for a guitar magazine.
Did you?
Yeah. Electric guitar enthusiast.
Wow.
I was I delivered it. From the age of 18 to 28 before I got my job at the bowling alley. And it's, so I know quite a bit about guitars, but I never did laugh at a song. So that's why this is interesting to me. And I'm totally, one exception, Officer Krupke. How do you explain that? Do you know Officer Krupke?
In West Side Story.
From West Side Story. There. That one. Do you know that one?
Hey, Officer Krupke.
This boy don't need a job, he needs a year in the pen. That one. Do you know that one? There. You don't know that? Oh, well, okay. I was hoping we could discuss that because it's the only song I've ever laughed at.
Deep down within us.
There is good.
There is good. There is good. Yeah, that
with
one.
the bride on
Even
account
if
of with
I
the
knew
bride.
what this song was, I know that both of your respective impersonations of it, I still wouldn't be able to like think of it from what you're doing. Like I don't know this song, but I just know that even if I did know it really well, I'd still be like, what song?
Well, that's weird because I have perfect pitch.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Which you'd think would help with musical comedy, but you're saying actually that would be a detriment because I would come on stage and people would go, Jesus, it's Pavarotti over here. I'm not going to laugh.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you have that problem. So
Yeah.
Are you bringing down your own vocal performance so audiences can understand it's comedy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
And I'll say to the tech, I'm like, if they are like a good tech, I say no effects on the vocal, no reverb.
No reverb.
I want it dry. I don't want it wet.
They call
Dry
it wet
as
if it's
fuck.
reverb.
I don't know if I came up with, I don't know if
Sounds
that,
real.
Yeah.
It sounds legit, but now I've said it, I'm like, I want it dry, I want no effects. I want it to sound like shit. And they go, sure.
No problem.
I totally get that. Let me turn that off.
Yeah. And then it just works.
And then I'm just kill it. But then every time there's reverb, the gig goes so bad.
Yeah. It goes too well, so it goes bad.
It's too well, so
And it just
goes
becomes
bad.
a gig.
Yeah, it just becomes a music gig.
Goethe said all art aspires toward the condition of music. Maybe that's an insight
Yeah.
as to what you're talking about. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I have this book in my toilet. It's called Funny German Sayings. And that's the first one. So that's why I know that.
Gosh. Yeah.
Here's my other tip for you both. I know you're a professor, you've done 7 gigs, you're about to go on tour to do the
By the time I've
Big
done
Mac.
every McDonald's on
Big
the Mother
Mac.
Road, I'll have done over 700 gigs. So
Wow.
Big Mac laughs on the highway or whatever the fuck it's called.
close. Close enough.
I would say my other piece of advice, so apart from my first one is don't have a musical instrument, don't sing well, don't have effects, you want it to sound like shit. The second one is 90% emphasis on what you wear, 10% on the material.
Interesting.
Very
Like
So
Elton John.
today I'm wearing, like Elton John duck costume, classic, but
Yep.
I'm wearing a full green tracksuit for this podcast. What I'm saying is a load of shit. It's not funny, it's not interesting, it's not
No,
engaging.
it is.
But
It
the
is.
outfit is sick. You can't see I'm wearing,
Oh, it's green all the way down.
Adidas Superstars.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
They're a classic shoe.
Yeah.
You know, you can't
They're
even
okay.
really see that. But what I'm saying is I'm bringing the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bringing much charisma either, really. But, you know, I've got it from a charity shop. I thought it was giving like Mel C vibes in the 90s, you know, sporty
Yeah.
vibe.
If anyone's listening, Amelia's holding a crucifix.
Yeah, I'm holding a crucifix. See, I'm not even like using the format correctly.
No, but that's okay. That's what we're here for, is
Yeah.
to facilitate.
I think that's all my advice, though. Yeah, that's...
Your
What I will say is, like, I used to be in a punk band and we used to actually do funny songs.
Mhm. Like,
So I'll do one. So let me think. Is it even funny? I used to sing in this like fake American accent kind of. So
That's pretty funny.
because you have to do that, I think, for punk music. So I go, what? Oh, wait, this is this song called Fuck You, Creepy Dudes. They'd be like, so imagine you're a dude and imagine you're really creepy. So
okay.
and you're just in the gig with my punk band. So I would like look directly at the person and I go like, what do you think you're looking at? And I go, what do you think you're looking at? You know, like, I'm like, I'm not gonna talk to you. Oh, fuck you, creepy dude.
Yeah.
And I go, you think that you can talk to me like I'm
No, go on.
just a piece of meat.
Uh-huh.
But you wouldn't talk to me if we were walking down the street. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But the vocals there were like kind of punk vocals, you know, and you kind of emphasize the like you just add stuff that isn't there.
Yes.
I didn't even realize I was doing that as subconscious, but sometimes that does creep into my comedy gigs if I'm feeling angsty, you know.
Interesting.
So I feel like you can do that.
That sounds like a good song as well to do around the presence of meat, like in a McDonald's.
Yeah, you could maybe take that one, although
I
I would
buy
need
that?
to get some money.
Yeah, I'll
for
give
it.
you some moolah back.
You
yeah,
just
absolutely.
can get in touch with my lawyer and work it out.
Well, on the subject of money, perhaps that leads us nicely on to our hot button issue
Oh, yeah.
of the day,
Yeah.
which is getting paid. Something that
Ultimately, that's what it's all about, right?
that's what we're all chasing
Yeah.
that green.
I bought it today.
There you go.
Is absolutely coated in green.
Yeah.
Bought this on my credit card.
Worth every penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of young aspiring comedians are performing for nothing or next to nothing.
Chumps.
How can that change? Should that be like that? What are your thoughts, Amelia? Getting paid for your art.
I actually don't really know what the answer to that is.
Mm.
That's okay,
I'm
fair
the
enough.
wrong person to
It's
ask.
refreshing.
Yeah.
I, try and get a regular pub quiz.
Regular pub quiz. That's for the
Try
money's
and get
out.
a regular pub quiz. You can try your jokes in between the questions as well and get paid for that.
Would you do a music round?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do a music round. I actually did one recently and I was like, name that track, but I'm going to change the lyrics to be about carbohydrates. And I did Careless Whisper by George Michael. I went, spur spaghetti, spur spaghetti, spur spaghetti, spur spaghetti, bread, 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 bread. And by the end of the night, everyone was singing along.
Yeah.
I felt like Liam Gallagher. I
Did
should have
you
said
get
I
paid
felt like George
Liam
Michael.
Gallagher? Yeah.
You do get paid for pub quizzes.
Uh-huh.
I think that one is £111.50.
£111.50. Wow, that's a very
They reimburse you for printing costs for the sheets.
Okay. So how much of that is reimbursement money? And how much of that is like Amelia's walk around
50
money?
quid was actually travel because it was
Okay.
in East Kilbride. And
Right.
I had to get a taxi all the way there because I was
Whoa,
late.
big spender.
$11.50 printing costs, 50 quid for probably about 12 hours work 'cause it took me a long time to write the quiz.
So if we work out the hourly rate, it's well below the minimum wage, the minimum wage, well below.
But that's my advice. So it's just like get a regular pub quiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can really say.
Giulia, you are a professor of comedy, so obviously you're receiving a salary from various universities and centres of education. How much do you get paid exactly? And yeah, what's the most expensive thing you own?
I get paid in accordance with the civil servant scale, grade number 9.
Right. So your university job is paid for by the civil service. That's an interesting administrative figure.
The work that I do is seen as having such public import.
Specifically, the bureaucracy related to running the country. That's so interesting. What
That
weird
is correct.
quango.
That
There's
is
some weird
correct.
quangos out there, but that must be one of the weirdest.
Yep. I'm sort of in the delta of the quango, you might say.
I've said it many times and I will say it again. You are in the delta of the quango, but I'm pleased to hear you're doing well.
Thank you. And then what's the most expensive thing I own? Well, you might recall earlier during the history of comedy section, I mentioned these beautiful massive phalluses that would be proudly carried around through the streets of ancient Athens.
Some sort of Priapus.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And I have one of those.
Right.
Just an ancient Greek artifact. It's in my hallway.
Uh-huh.
I hang my coats on it.
Oh, it must be some
How
size
do
of
you
member.
manage? You just like pile them up one on top of the other? Or?
Yeah, it's actually not a very efficient method because I've got to sort of take off. If I want to get the coat at the bottom, I've got to take all of the coats above that coat off the phallus. But
Wow.
it's just an honor to be, involved. Yeah, here. Involved.
Well, we're glad to have you involved if that's what you meant. You are one of the hosts of the show. So.
No, involved with this.
Involved with owning a phallus. It's nice to be involved.
Oh my god! Did you know what happened the other day?
What?
So a guy I know is helping me out with like I'm moving flat, so he came over and I tidied my flat, and he came over to like unplug my cooker and my washing machine. And I was like, that went really well. And as I left, I realized I had like a little vibrator just sitting on my shelf. And you would have seen it.
Not under the oven.
No, like on my
How did that get
shelf.
there?
Like on my shelf. And I also had 10 dildos under the washing machine.
Just the 10. Holding it up so it doesn't vibrate. Yeah.
Normally they have a concrete pallet underneath to stop it from shaking.
That's
but
good
I
for the neighbors. It's actually really considerate.
Yeah.
It's a noise absorber.
Yeah.
So that just made me think of that. Anyway, it's all fine.
You should have just told him it was an ancient Greek
I know.
fertility symbol.
I might text him after this and say, look, there's an actual because I'm a musical
an antique.
comedian.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll just send him the link of this pod if it does ever go out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'd say we have a 50% release rate so far. So
I'd say that. I'd
fingers
say that.
crossed.
That's a
Yeah.
good ratio. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. Just wish for the best.
Definitely. How did you get started, Amelia? What advice would you have to anyone? We've covered the bad singing, the outfit.
Yeah.
What's your comedy origin story?
I would say just you have to be like really delusional.
Okay.
Like I think that's like you just have to be really fucking delusional from a young age.
Yeah. Were you funny from a young age?
I don't know really. I remember so the first ever like parody song I did was at a youth theatre, and it was a parody of
It's a beautiful start.
it was about
What a killer sentence that is.
it was a parody of Ruby by the Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah.
But it was about my bikini top coming off in the
Oh, I can see
Was
where
it-
this is going.
Was it booby? Was it booby?
I can see that
I
mile
was like
off.
16 or something. So I feel like if I was like an older person watching, I'd be like, what the fuck? But anyway, I was like, booby, 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 booby.
You performed this.
I didn't realize they were around. Anyway, it killed.
Yeah, I bet. Have you
then-
thought about bringing that into
I-
your set these days?
Sometimes when I'm looking and I'm like, you're really having writer's block, I'm like, maybe I'll bring that back. I think I did
Yeah.
actually once in lockdown, did like an online gig. I did it without the context of saying I originally wrote this, but I was like fucking 15 years ago. 5 years ago, showbiz age.
Oh,
But
yeah, of course, yeah.
20. But yeah, like yeah, so I don't know. I guess I've always liked parody. I've tried to do another parody song recently, right?
Okay.
And the guy directing my show, he was like, yeah, cut it. We're like, he was like, I was like, but But the show's coming in at an hour. He was like, nah, still cut it. I was like, what the fuck? And it was about having a nut allergy, and it's a cover of Don't You Want Me by Human League. And it goes, nut allergy, baby.
Good.
So I'm really just regressing quite a bit.
No, progressing.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say the nut allergy one is definite progress from Booby Booby.
It
I'm
went
no
like this. It
expert.
went, we went on tour first day too. It's got the word too many times. It's not grammatically correct. We went on tour first day to a restaurant. Just you and me. The waiter said, have you got any dietary requirements? I said nut allergy.
It's a lot of syllables, isn't it? It's maybe one too many syllables. But there's something there.
It's again with this sort of show release being 50-50, the success rate of this song is at this point 50-50. Gig by gig.
Well, we'll pray for it.
Pray for it. That's the all you can do.
We'll pray on it.
Not rewriting. Don't
No.
rewrite it. Just
It's
pray.
finished. It's out. Pray for
Just
it.
The
pray.
power of prayer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't try and change it or make it better. Just say, I hope this goes well.
Yeah.
Julia, I know that we're basically uninitiated in the world of musical comedy, but have you ever tried your hand at using music as a comedic tool?
I actually, when I was about 14, in my German class at school,
Okay.
I prepared all this. I got it okayed in advance with the teacher, and I performed it was a parody of Dusty Springfield's I Only Want to Be With You about a fictional German incontinence pad that I called Drip Keine Plus.
Let me just take a wild punt that you did not go to a state school. Is that correct?
I did not. I
No,
did
I
not.
didn't think so.
You got me.
Yeah.
But
somehow
I
it's
think
made sense.
it went something like, I don't know what it is that makes my bladder flow. I only know Drip Kind of Plus protects me so. 'Cause you stopped me leaking, oh can't you see? And ever since I found you, you have helped me. It's crazy, but it's true. Drip Kind of Plus, we love you.
Wow, fantastic.
and
So
it
you
So
have
like
it in
only
you.
one word of it was in German and the rest of it was in English.
The rest of it was very much in English. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
performed it in front of the class.
The German class, yes. And
But
I
you
think
didn't take German. That was just a separate
just-
German, a higher
yeah.
German class that's 4 years older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I stuffed. I had a roll of toilet paper and I
Okay.
I squished it so it was sort of flat but still very thick, and I stuffed it down like the back of my pants, and
Right.
then at the end of the song I turned around to reveal like the wedge.
Which is almost physical comedy. So you're mixing it up even more. You're doing German, you're doing musical comedy,
Yeah.
you're doing physical
Doing
comedy.
one word
Wow.
of German. Two, one word of German.
No
So
wonder
what
you're a
was the
professor.
reaction?
Honestly, it went down very well. It went down
Oh.
very well. No one was no one was trying similar stuff at the time. So
What was the open mic scene like at your high school? It was
your
mostly
German
observational
class.
stuff?
it was observational. I also did some character comedy in an English class.
Wow. Early start. Early
yeah.
bloomer.
Yeah.
And what? So what did you? Sorry, you did character
I
in
did some
English.
character
Did you do
comedy.
observation in your maths class?
What's the deal with the decimal system?
What does
Yeah.
it mean squared?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like a square. It's a
Yeah.
two. It's a little two.
Strong stuff.
That's
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You should
I
keep
might
that.
put that into my
do
fringe
it.
show. I'll
Do it.
replace the not allergy song.
There you go. There we go. Workshop. What character did you do in English class? Was it based on a fictional character? An
was-
extant fictional character? Or was it
No,
original?
It was original. It was an original creation. It was an American lady who was
Okay. Go on.
an American lady who was very enthusiastic about wall hangings. In particular, she had one wall hanging with an elephant on it that she loved.
Wow. Can we hear a little? Is it possible?
I don't know if I could remember it.
Did you write a monologue or was it improvised?
I wrote a monologue.
It was written. Okay, I see.
It was heavily scripted. I didn't leave any of this stuff to chance.
No, well, why would you? You're doing a gig in front of your English class. It's a
Yeah.
huge opportunity.
Yeah. Exactly.
Were teachers encouraging this, or did you yourself go to them and say, "Hey, you know, I feel like you're a great teacher, but your classes have been a bit dry. Maybe if I opened
A bit lacking in giggles.
Yeah.
Were you funny at school, Amelia?
I was weird, man.
You were weird?
I was weird. I just actually I once sang at assembly. You know, Paper Planes by MIA.
Yeah.
They were like, because you do music, we want you to sing at assembly. So I was like, all I want to do is bang, 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 and a cash machine sound and take your money. Actually, that was the name of John Luke Roberts' show a few years ago. Actually, it was like the emojis and stuff. But so I don't know if that's funny or just unhinged. I always kind of am tight-roping between.
How did your classmates react?
I don't think they really respected me.
It's devastating.
I don't think of anything else that happened at school. I never did like stand up in front of. I once did this thing where I made everyone write. I wrote "Love is spreading" on someone's hand in pen, and then everyone wrote it, and it spread around the school. Like chlamydia.
See,
I got that. It's from doing comedy in Glasgow. I got that muscle.
Yeah, we should say that you're Glasgow-based, right?
Yeah,
so
Glasgow-based. And we should also say for anyone just listening to the audio, Amelia's doing a killer wink.
I was doing a really good wink there,
wink.
yeah. I've been winking a lot more recently. Just something you should know. I've been winking a lot more.
I really struggle with winking.
I don't know. I'm heartbroken. And so I just been winking a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps. Maybe it's actually, it's like kind of like, when you get like a nervous, twitchy eye when you're stressed. It's actually not winking. It's anxiety. Anyway. Yeah.
Ross, I've got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Number 1, were you funny at school? Number 2, where do you stand on winking?
The only time I ever tried any comedy stuff at school was in Miss Nixon's class in primary 5, and I performed a little light on the ground satirical parody of the Iraq War. I did George Bush, did Tony Blair. I sort of did one line, and Miss Nixon was like, "Oh, that's funny. You should do that in front of the class." And being who I am, I consented, and I did, and I didn't have the material to carry it through.
Goodness.
Don't think I really understood WMDs. I was in no position to be satirizing. I was right in the end.
Yeah.
The war was a bad idea. So in a way, very, very smart kid. And in another way, a smart kid wouldn't have agreed to go up in front of his classmates and do that. And what was the second question?
Well, the second question was winking.
Where do I stand on
Where
winking?
do you stand
I
on
physically can't do it, so it's not an option for me. So I resent other people who can.
Okay. Like tongue rolling. Like tongue rolling.
I can do that.
Okay.
Cool.
So I don't mind that. But I don't think it's funny. I wouldn't say it's funny. I'm not into that. No. Do you think it's funny?
No.
Cross eyes funny? Yes. That's where I draw the line.
Do you think, Ross, you could recycle any of that Iraq War material for
It's too explosive. If I did it on this podcast, we could never release it. The Monkey Barrel wouldn't put their name to it.
Well, not so much the podcast. I'm thinking when you take this show on the road.
Well, I don't think it would play well in Texas.
Quarter pounder on the tarmac street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
the
do
name
like
of your
a Mike Skinner style rap.
Nuggets on the ground.
Quarter pounder on
Quarter pounder on the tarmac street.
No, I mean, when I go there, I'll mostly do McDonald's material because that's what people want to hear. So it'll be like,
They
they don't make Big Macs as big as they used to. Quarter pounder these days, it's more like an eighth of a pounder. And people love that in America.
Have you thought about going across Scotland though and trying?
Too easy. America's a big country. I want to stretch my legs. I want to do 1,000 gigs across America, McDonald's. I don't want to do... What would I do it in Scotland? Do it at, the Little Chef and do 2 gigs. There's no challenge
Little
there.
Chef as a concept. Hey, actually, I wrote a really good song on my Twitch stream about Little Chef, and it went like little chef, la 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 la, little chef. But then there was this bit in the middle where there was no music and it was just clapping, and it would be like little fucking chef.
Wow.
I miss doing it, but I don't think I could just take it into the context of like a normal gig. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hello. Wait, I'm trying to think of a venue. Hello, unnamed old man pub in Glasgow. How are you doing? Are you well? Here's a song about Little Chef. Little fucking chef. La la la. They're just like this. I don't think I like this person. So so it doesn't translate.
It's true. Musical comedy, it's
tough.
It's for a specific audience, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know where you could do that, which maybe arguably we should have mentioned before this point in the podcast. I'd say that would be a perfect song for the other show.
Oh yeah, that's what this is for. Yeah.
Yeah.
At Monkey Barrel in Edinburgh.
And it's every other Saturday.
Every other Well, it's the second and the fourth Saturday of the month. Some months have different numbers of Saturdays.
You lost me. It's pretty simple. Look at your calendar. Oh, do you have a calendar? Do you have a celebrity calendar? Either of you? You know, you go to like an old mall and they sell calendars.
It's like Britney Spears.
Yeah.
The mall has to be run down
Very
for them
run
to
down.
have one of these.
Yeah.
I wish I had one.
I wish I had one.
There was a Paul Hollywood one in the sandwich shop where I used to work, and everyone drew moustaches.
I've got Jensen Button's
Banter!
cool card 1997, and the year 1997 works the same as this year. You know, that's how planets go. Every 17 years or so, the years are the same, and the same number of months, same dates, and everything. So I'm using my Jensen Button. I actually don't have to buy any more calendars because the way that the lunar calendar works, I now have enough. If you have 30 or 40 calendars from earlier in your life, you're set for life. You just have to rub out what you wrote before, and thank God I had the good grace to write in pencil is all I can say. So this year I'm using my Jensen Button Fast Cars calendar from F1, and that's a pretty cool one. And next year it's Kermit. So I'm all set.
I think I had a Kermit calendar. I loved it.
Ew.
There was like a black and white one of him in his underwear. Is that the one you've got?
No, I don't have the perverts one. I've just got the normal one for kids. I don't have the like sexy frog calendar that you got. Would you get that on like a hen day?
Kermit. Naked Kermit.
It was like a Calvin Klein ad, and it said like the Kermit Klein.
Oh my God,
Klein.
what the fuck? I don't know about this
Who made that?
subculture of like fucking sexy Kermit. I missed out on this.
You really have.
Kermit Klein, did you say that?
Kermit Klein.
March is just some fully fucking piggy. It's really explicit. It's dark.
Yeah.
But
hell.
good for you. That's what you like. You've got several coats draped over a giant penis, and you've got Kermit the Frog
We've
with his
learned-
wanger out. It's
We've learned so much about you, Giulia.
Yep.
All of it's fucking mental.
Just to circle back to something about you, Amelia. So
Scared.
no, well, I'm just wondering about. So you mentioned your little chef song.
Little fucking chef. Little, yeah. Your food tastes like death. That's actually the only line in it.
wow.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, I'm just thinking about these two strands of your musical comedy, your McNuggets on the bag in the road, and thinking about where the Venn diagram of. And I'm wondering, Amelia, do you have any other songs about foodstuffs or food venues, or is that something you've explored in your work?
Got a few actually. So the Wimpy song goes, "Where do you wanna go for breakfast? Wimpy, Wimpy, Wimpy." And then they all have that same singing voice. And then Papa John's dip tastes like cum.
Yes.
Papa John's, why do you make your dip taste so wrong? Papa John's. I don't know why I just got really into this like style of singing where it's like unnecessary notes. And then there's a song called Dr. Oetker, and it had a breakdown at the end which went, Dr. Oetker, I can live without ya. I cannot live without ya. Dr. Oetker, I can live without ya. Oetker, I can live without ya. And I feel like since the pandemic, now I'm performing, I'm acting a lot more normal. But in lockdown, I feel like I really was being my authentic true self. But that's because it's not, you weren't trying to win over like strangers. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're doing a Twitch stream, you kind of have your community and they're all like, we get it, it's snacks, it's mental, it's punk, it's country, whatever. But if you like go to a gig on a Saturday night and you go, I'm dressed as a pizza, let's fucking go, they'll be like, I don't think I like this. Yeah. Nah, it's like, I don't think we're gonna laugh. And then so
Yeah.
hey ho. And Wimpy is in my fringe show though. I'm including that in my fringe show.
Okay,
so that's
so-
the one that's because I'm teaching it to the audience and then singing it. On the
Amazing.
notes for the show, it's like teach audience Wimpy, sing Wimpy. It's like the bullet point.
Where can people see your Fringe show?
The
Amelia?
Blunderbuss, which is a bus that's just driving a lot. No, it's not driving. I'm ripping off your idea. But it's just
it's going
through
down
at least
all the way down Route 66 next summer. Amelia Bayler. People are going to try and steal it. I've already had an email from Seinfeld, so don't worry about it. You will be the first.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's such a good idea.
But yeah, that's gonna be
The Blunderbuss then.
Yeah, it's a bus.
Cool.
No,
Yeah, it's a bus.
It's a bus. It's a
And why would people go see it?
bus.
Well, I think if they don't know that at 50 minutes into this podcast, Ross.
Because
Yeah, no.
I'm actually a songwriting genius.
We know, yep.
There's
yes.
going to be a parody song in it. The No Allergy song is not in it. But
Shit.
there's a parody song, Good Morning from Singing in the Rain, which the more I do it, the more actually cringed out I am. And I actually hate it, but it's going to be fun. Because I did actually get singing lessons and actually learned to sing again. But then I started smoking again. So halfway through the show prep, things went a bit tits up. But so I changed the name of the show from Singing Lessons to I work in customer service, but I'm actually a pop star.
Of that.
Fantastic.
So yeah, and that is kind of my vibe of musical comedy. I think I actually get it a bit wrong sometimes. I just think like, oh, I'm a pop star. Like I have backing tracks. Like I am Lady Gaga. And people go, what? What are you talking about? But it'll be fun.
Do you encounter resistance? Like, so there aren't that many musical comedians, I feel, on the scene.
There are, you know what?
They're more than I think.
There are, well, Eddie McKenzie, Gabriel Featherstone, but he just does it a cappella, which I think is quite edgy and funny. There's some people that have stopped now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it can be weird because it can be a bit of a vibe shift. And also all other comedians like think that you're a fucking piece of shit.
Whoa, really? Is there
Whoa.
resentment?
Is there
I
beef?
feel
'Cause
like
you have
there's
the
a whole
talent.
I think there's a whole thing of people going like, oh fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? Fucking musical comedy. But I think it also can be weird as a vibe shift in a show. Do you know what I mean?
I think
But
it's a good thing.
do you
having
think
It's
so?
energy,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a palate
It's energy.
cleanser. It's
Yeah.
it's energy
Palate
and
cleanser, like coffee beans when you're trying to buy perfume.
Exactly like coffee beans. Yes.
Whimper.
Coffee beans up in the ears.
Yeah. But yeah.
I would
don't
like
know.
to try it sometime, but I need to learn how to sing first.
Try something now. Just do it now.
Give me a topic and I'll try and...
Chicken selects versus chicken nuggets as like a competition of which one is better as
I
a song.
don't know either of those products.
You're doing a show in McDonald's, Ross Foley.
Oh,
You're shocked.
I just have Big Mac.
You just have Big Mac.
I've only ever seen Big Mac. That's all it is for me. McDonald's is Big Mac.
Okay.
I don't know that there needs to be any other menu items mentioned. I could do
Okay.
a party with Big Mac. Maybe
Big
I could
Mac
do
plus
Return
Grimace.
of Big Mac. And then
That's
that's
good. That's
straight off the
good.
dome. So that counts.
Return of Big Mac.
What the problem is that they would have to withdraw Big Mac before that song made sense.
You know-
But it's almost worth withdrawing the most popular
Hey,
food item so that they can bring
What
it back.
about they do a double Big Mac, don't they? They've just started a double Big Mac. 'Cause
Have
it's
they?
4 patties.
Oh
Can
my
you fucking believe it? We're living in the
That's
greatest era
ridiculous.
of life right now.
I'm not really that
Financially
into
not
McDonald's food. I just think it's a perfect comedy venue on Route 66. So I don't know if I've given you the wrong impression that I'm like a McDonald's fan.
You hate it.
I like Grimace and I'm pretty indifferent on the rest of it. But I like Big Mac.
So
You're
let's
fucking mental.
drill down on Grimace a little bit. What?
He's just
Let's
big
go back to
purple.
this.
What? Purple.
He's purple.
Is
They
he the
recently
burglar?
did something
No, that's
for
the
his
the
like
Hamburglar.
73rd birthday, I think, or something. And it was Grimace's birthday, and you could get the Grimace birthday meal, and that was you could either get Big Mac or chicken nuggets, 10 piece. You got fries, medium or large, and you got the Grimace shake, the world famous Grimace shake,
Grimace shake.
which is like a sort of a berry flavored shake.
Oh.
What?
And Badlands chugged 3 liters of it. Do you guys know Badlands chugged? Chugs.
Badlands. What?
He's a guy on
What are
YouTube who
you-
chugs huge quantities or huge volumes of liquid.
Jesus.
You don't know Badlands chugs?
The
Absolutely
Grimace
not.
shake is ringing a bell though.
It's a purple drink,
I think
and Badlands chugged 3 liters of it.
3 liters
Yeah, out of a boot.
out of a boot.
He calls it Das Boot, and he's a larger American fella, and he drinks huge amounts of liquid. And
Is that a fascist text? Das Boot? Was it
I don't think it's a fascist. It's a very famous long film about a submarine.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm thinking about.
But it's also a drinking
Drinking vessel.
vessel. Yeah.
Wow.
But I could do something about chugging huge amounts of
Okay.
liquid, I
as a
suppose.
song.
How would I do that? I mean, help us masterclass that
First of
song.
all, you got to pick a genre of
Okay.
music, one that you're familiar with. Like, what's your favorite kind of music?
Like birthday songs.
Like Happy Birthday.
Would be one of the big ones. Yeah.
Okay, so any other birthday songs?
Oh, too many to mention.
There's
The one they play at TGI Fridays.
What's that?
What's that? Happy birthday to
No, they
you.
couldn't. It's unlicensed. It's an original.
Right.
Well, you come to TGI's and you're having a good time. Why don't your birthday away? It's something like that. It's that's not it, but it's close to that.
Take that,
Uh-huh.
not the artist.
Take the TGI Friday song,
and then
make it about chugs.
does it have to be about chugs?
That's what I want to do a parody of because that's what I'm passionate about.
Okay,
Did
well,
you not
have
say
to
that? You should always
compromise.
parody what you're passionate
No,
about.
I
You said that
said-
earlier.
I don't think that is what she said.
What the
I've got it written
fuck?
down. I have it written down. You definitely said that. You said I say Amelia 20 seconds in said always parody what you're passionate about.
Okay.
Maybe I
I'm
misheard.
being gaslit. It's fine.
Okay, so I've
I'm
got my
used to
TGI song
Okay, so yeah, and then you just take that and just combine it
with chugs.
with chugs.
So, for example, some chugs words would be like "drink it down" or Sprite. He drinks a lot of Sprite. They do different flavors of Sprite, and it's somehow interesting that he drinks different flavors of it.
That does sound interesting.
And he'll do like cherry Sprite,
Okay, so
and then he'll say, "Here I am going to drink the whole thing,"
Yeah.
and he drinks it, and you're like, "No way!" And he does it, and it. Crazy thing is, he does it is out of the fridge, so it's cold.
Oh my god.
Can I include that in the song?
Yeah.
unnecessary detail can be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can also be bad.
So
All you can do is try it.
I'm drinking a cherry Sprite, and it's so cold. Happy birthday at TGI's. Does that work?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Can you
Okay,
do it
great.
again in exactly the same?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it again.
I'm drinking cherry Sprite, and it's so ice cold. Happy birthday from TGI's.
That's
You're
good.
so lucky that your birthday's on a Friday. That's why you're here. Badlands Jugs. Well, I shouldn't mention him. It should be me. I'll work
That's
on it.
good.
But you
Yeah.
would be willing to coach me to get that song to perfection?
You can just DM me on Instagram.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
I think I need to follow you back.
Well, you have to unblock me first, and then we can do that. If you wouldn't mind doing that anyway, I was going to ask.
And where
I was going to unblock you until you gaslit me, but it's fine.
where can people find you online, Amelia?
Amelia Bayler on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads.
Threads.
I just started using
Threads.
Threads, but only to say what I've eaten in a day, and then signing every single one off with living my best life.
Love that.
But it's always
Love
like,
that.
just ate 2 dairy cheese slices at midnight, living my best life.
Yeah.
And then the next one is just had a triple chocolate cookie, £2 pizza, blah, blah, blah,
Mm.
living my best life. I think I'm just going to use it for that and not any promotional stuff.
Great.
Yeah,
Perfect.
thank you.
Well,
Thanks.
we're kind of. Do you have any?
Do you have any funny stuff to say at all
Any jokes?
on this podcast?
jokes
Do you
at
have
all?
anything to give to this podcast?
Amelia, we always ask our
yeah.
3 big questions at the end of every episode.
God.
Question number 1. Who is your number 1 comedy hero?
My dad.
Oh.
I have daddy issues.
Do you have a funny dad?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
He told me to stop. He told me I went through a breakup, and he was like, "You need to." He was giving me advice about like giving up dating, and he went, "Amelia, you need to step away from the cock and minge."
It's sage
It's like a police hostage situation.
He said
Your
it's so
hands up.
deadpan as well. My comedy hero is my dad.
Okay, question number 2. If your comedy career was a car, which type of car would it be?
A Volkswagen Polo, but like a really old one.
Oh,
So it's like fabulous and iconic, but it's fucked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm on this like it's like a fucking...
Audrey Hepburn over there.
Would you get? There was one polo from the 90s called like the Harlequin that had like different coloured like.
Oh my god, yes,
doors
yes,
and-
yes. That's
yeah,
what it would be.
that's what it would
Oh my
be.
god, I didn't know that was a name of that. I just thought
Yeah.
people had gone to the garage and they just fucked it. Like I
Nah.
didn't know that was actually a
Harlequin.
I
brand.
wish we'd started talking about cars earlier. Finally getting interesting. Now. And Julia, do you want to ask the final question that we always ask?
You always ask.
The mushroom one, yeah.
Okay, but we've already asked. Who's your?
Yeah, but those
Number
questions are
second.
I don't know
Okay.
anything about Mount Rushmore, so
Well,
don't ask me that.
Well, we
So-
can inform you. Ask away.
So Mount Rushmore, I had to learn this. Is a big. Well, it's according to you, Ross. It's naturally.
It's a natural formation. There's this miraculous thing happening in America where there were some mountains that formed in the shape of what would go on to be 4 presidents. Pure chance, pure luck. And one of them actually even had glasses, Theodore Roosevelt. So it's just really remarkably lucky. But what we like to do is we like to use it to mean who are your 4 favorite comics, basically.
In the world.
Yeah, of all time. So you could say one of Julia's shit Greek guys if you wanted to, if you were deranged. But most people name living people.
Oh my god, that's so difficult.
But you don't have to name them. People.
No, you could.
Julia Galastro, Ross Foley,
Wow.
my mum
Flattery
and
will
dad.
get you everywhere. Fantastic.
Well,
So
Amelia,
sweet.
thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been an absolute joy.
It's been a delight.
Should we?
Oh yeah, we should
So
say for those of you who are
briefly,
curious.
Yeah, yes. There's been a notable absence this
Yes.
episode. We have previously been joined by Coben on tech.
Yeah, some of you might recognize the name, some of you won't.
He was my apprentice.
He completed his comedy tuition
Yep.
under Julia, and we've loosed him to the world. As far as I'm aware, he's currently the 3rd or 4th standby on the current season of The Canadian Apprentice. So if one of the entrepreneurs twists their ankle, another one gets diarrhea, and a third maybe says something inflammatory and has to leave the show, then Coleman's going to be in there and have a chance to strut his stuff.
Yeah.
Become maybe get 100,000 Canadian dollar
Yeah.
investment. So it's really exciting for him. We couldn't stand in his way of that
Yeah.
opportunity.
Absolutely not.
And, fingers crossed,
Yeah.
several people are incapacitated so he can actually get on the show. That's what we dream for. And all the
Yeah.
best, Coben, with your new
All the best.
Canadian Apprentice adventure.
All the very best to Coben. Thank you so much to Amelia.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hooray, and thank you for listening.
See you
Tune
soon.
in next time to the Other Show podcast.
God bless. Goodbye.
Bye.
God bless.